Someone said they left together.
The Tame Impala Review, our favorite Australian psychedelic group formed by Kevin Parker, aka Jesus. This group was formed in 1999 and has other members like Dominic Simper and Jay Watson. But when we think about Tame Impala, we only think about Kevin Parker and a meme surrounding Currents. Let's talk about the formation of the group. Kevin Parker grew up in a musical household and dedicated his time learning to learn guitar and drums. Childhood friend Dominic Simper shared his love for music, and they formed a band at a young age called Dee Dee Drums with the drummer Luke Epstein. Luke will later leave the group, which will suck for him. Then Jay Watson will come along and take his spot, and they will change their name to Tame Impala. The trio formed the live band, but Kevin mostly took care of the recording duties himself, creating woozy psychedelic pop in his bedroom. He posted some songs on MySpace, and they quickly became popular. The band released an EP called Tame Impala in 2008 on a Tiny Hole in the Sky label, then signed with the Australian label Modular Recordings and released another self-titled EP later in that year. The EP went number 10 on ARIA charts and number 1 on the independent label charts. Desire Be, Desire Go, Half Full Glass of Wine, and Skeleton Tigers were the names of the songs that were very popular in the EP. Though Kevin Parker played everything in the studio, live, Tame Impala functioned as a real band. Though at their early gigs, they were famously unprepared and never wore shoes. That year, they also supported the Black Keys and UMI on a national tour. In 2010, Tame Impala made their full-length debut with Inner Speaker. Recorded mainly in a remote beach house 4 hours outside Perth, Parker did almost all the music, this time letting Watson and Semper contribute a little bit. The album was a critical and popular success, gaining the band's fans all over the globe, being nominated for many awards in Australia, including ARIA Albums of the Year and winning the J Album of the Year. Shortly after the record release, Parker returned to his home studio in Perth to begin working on the new album, which he started recording while the band was on tour. Along the way, he lost half the album when his iPod fell out of his bag. He moved to Paris, and eventually, after a year of mixing with Dave Friedman, he finished the album. Released in 2012, Lonerism was a less guitar-heavy, far wider album than Inner Speaker, yet it made even a bigger splash. Tame Impala were again winners on the J Awards for the Album of the Year and topped many year-end polls, including Enemies, and the record was nominated for Best Alternative Album at the Grammys. Those were the touchdowns for the next Tame Impala record in 2015, Currents, which has been made fun of in a lot of memes, which saw their sound expand to include more up-tempo dance music informed tracks and some smooth R&B styling. The record swept a number of categories at the 2015 ARIA Awards, including Best Album, and was once again nominated for the Best Alternative Album of 2016 Grammys. Parker stayed busy during the next few years with collaborating with important artists like Koi Child, Lady Gaga, Zoo, SZA, and Mick Jagger. On the Tame Impala front, they released an expanded edition of Currents, which contained 3 previously unheard tracks and remixes by Pond and Soul Wax in 2017. Kevin Parker began to collaborate with many artists such as Travis Scott and Astroworld, and he also co-wrote a song in Kanye's album Ye. And he teamed up with Ronson again on 2019's Late Night Feelings. And after a long rollout that the band saw debuting new songs on Saturday Night Live in May of 2019, and steady teases of new songs, Parker began tinkering with a new album, and that album will be released in the early 2020, and it will be called Slow Rush. And just before the band launched a worldwide tour, coronavirus hit, and they only managed to make half of their tour.